Y'all ready? Okay. All right, good morning. It's 9:01. We'll call this meeting. We'll start with Commissioner Court. Everyone please rise. This time I'd like to call on Commissioner Watts for the invocation.
Pray with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the many, many blessings you give to us each and every day, Father. And as we leave Father's Day celebration yesterday, we're just reminded that you're ultimately our Father, and we just raise you up and give you all the praise. Father, we'd ask that your hand be with us today as we come together to discuss the business of this county. Let us make decisions wisely, Father. We'd ask that your hand be with those that protect and defend and serve our country. And here at home and abroad, Father, be with each and every one of them and keep them safe. Father, we ask that you forgive us of our sins where we fall short. All of these things we ask in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Commissioner. Y'all join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Take seats, please. This time I'd like to ask Ms. Sherry Jones to come forward. I was telling Chris last night, I said, well, Sherry gets her 35 years award. She said she started working ever since she was 10. And, you know, Sherry's one of the first people I met when I came to the courthouse. And I was single, and I thought she was really cute. And she soon done told me all about that. And then she said, well, she's married. I said, well, dang. Well, we've become great friends, work together. I love Jimmy. And at any rate, that all worked out. But I got tickled at her. She finally told me, she said, you just realize that. And I didn't. So if I did anything wrong, I'm way late, but President Clinton was pretty late in his apology, too. So.
Oh, my Lord. Where's this headed, Judge?
Right. I'm not going to have to retract anything out of it. But, at any rate, for Sherry K. Jones, that really always rates the highest of any employee, and I think the highest salary you proposed for was $95,000 a year. But, at any rate, congratulations on reaching this milestone service anniversary. Through your hard work, dedication, and loyalty, Wichita County is able to provide quality service to the citizens of Wichita County. In honor of your service, we are pleased to offer you a choice of anniversary awards. Please accept your gift as an expression of our gratitude for the contributions you continue to make every day. On behalf of the Commissioners Court, we commend you for your service and with your every success and your continued career toward the next milestone. Your commitment to Wichita County is deeply appreciated this 13th day of June 2018. And signed by me, but on behalf of the court. And I'm glad to see the district judges also realize, and Judge Fudge, we're glad to have you here. And you're going to present another one of these milestone awards for us for Margaret, I think. We're going to have you
okay,
do that. So,
where's old Sherry? She's a great help.
Yeah. But not only does she do a great job for everybody helping in the law library, you did how many years at the Hollywood Hill Rest Stop and passed that off, and you won first place several times and always placed in the top 5. The wellness program you've done for us, Healthy County, and you still do it.
YMCA?
Yeah. So, Sherry, thank you very much. All right.
Thank you.
Judge, a quick disclaimer, it is a little warm in here this morning. We got some chiller problems. Fabio's on it. I was down there a while ago. Hopefully we'll get better here.
Okay, well, I'm going to get rid of the coat. I don't know anybody else. But, that's working out. Yeah. Okay, if I could ask the court to take a look at the consent agenda.
Judge, the consent agenda fairly long this morning, a lot there, and I know there'll be some discussion, but I'll go ahead and make the motion that we accept the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll-
Okay. Any comments or questions, anyone?
Judge, I did on, just clarification on item 7. I didn't know what that was. I guess we bought a trailer.
Yeah, that's that one that Commissioner Harvey bought, and this is just simply to improve the reimbursement for payment for the temporary tag and for the inspection sticker.
And that was really my only question. I thought we were working on a Cummins engine and something, and I realized that.
We did, we went through that last time on this too. Yeah, it's kind of hard to figure why the tax assessors want a Cummins engine and Allison transmission, you know.
Good combination.
Yeah, it's a pretty high power change counter.
Let me just make a comment if I could on board.
Yes, sir, please.
We are bringing that tax abatement agreement in Wichita County and Cryback Incorporated. It always pleases me to see when we can do something to give some assistance to one of our current large employers in the county. We're always very quick to try to help new industry come to town, and that's a good program, and I always like it when we can support the folks that are doing us a good job, and we've got a great payroll in the county. And I'll say this about Cryback, I live pretty close to them. They're not only a good company that do a lot of good in our community, they're good neighbors. And my son is a management trainee at JBS Proteins, and he's always proud to tell the folks that those bags are made just a few blocks down from my house, and quality's good. So I'm proud that's on there, proud we can do that for them. I think they certainly, it brings lots of dividends with me.
I believe so. If there's anything you'd like to say, sir?
Just,
If you don't mind, come on up here to the microphone. Give your name for the record, please.
Barry Horton, North American Director of Food Care Operations. And Mr. Mueller, I appreciate the words, and I always enjoy meeting with you guys because typically that means that we're reinvesting in the community and we're adding equipment, we're securing jobs. This particular one is a significant investment, a $19 million food film line and a press and bag machine. So it's not only making that plant stable, it's also making the plant in Wichita Falls healthy as well. So you as a group have been very supportive through the years, and again, I like being here because it's typically very good for the community and very good for our company.
Well, that figure is likewise. Appreciate all the things you all do in the community. Your business is community oriented. You personally do a lot of things, and it's just a great partnership.
Yeah, absolutely is. It's through the years, it's Commissioner Court, it's the City Council in Wichita Falls, it's Economic Development Boards in Owl Park and Wichita Falls, and I think all of those groups have worked together very well to make sure that we, as Commissioner Mueller said, that we maintain and grow the business that we have here locally.
Barry, would you let, for those that don't know, just about our plant in Iowa Park, how it ranks in the company overall as far as its productivity and...
Yeah, I mentioned, I think to the City Council when we were talking about this investment, that Sealed Air is a global company, and it's about $4.5 billion globally. The food care business, which the Iowa Park plant is a part of, is roughly, North America is roughly 1.4 billion of that total global. And the Iowa Park plant is the second largest plant. The South Carolina plant is the largest, and Iowa Park is the largest plant in North America. It's the second largest plant in North America. So it's a significant producer of bags for protein, as Commissioner Mueller mentioned, and about 800 employees and that's full-time employees locally. So it's a operation that is significant not only for North America but for the globe. So I'm very proud of what we've done in the partnership, and without that great partnership, I don't think we'd be as healthy as we are today.
You've been a blessing to our community. I mean, you're stable. People have been out there a long time. They've made careers working for Sealed Air, Cryovac. It's a good, strong company. Really have blessed our community.
There's a lot of great people out there, and many times you guys don't hear the stories behind the scenes. We share these employees with other plants. We sent some recently to Missouri, we've gone to Centerville, South Carolina, we've gone to Rogers, Arkansas. There's a lot of knowledge in these local plants, not just Howell Park, but Wichita Falls too. So very, very strong technical base.
We had a large celebration in Burke Burnett on Saturday night. One of your employees, Linda Forsythe, turned 60 years old. And we had a surprise birthday party for her. She was surprised.
Well, Linda didn't tell me that. She normally doesn't, but Linda's been there for probably 35 plus years. Great employee and does a super job.
Yeah, we love her to death. Thank you, Barry.
When we had a celebration over there, a couple of years ago, I guess it was, you had some people that have been there since that plant opened.
Yeah, and a lot of them are still there.
Yeah, that's
It's
incredible.
amazing.
We got to meet your CEO or
Yeah.
the president and CEO of your company.
Yeah, our CEO has recently changed, and the new CEO will be supposedly, the schedule could change, but in July, to come visit this plant, which is, it's a big plant. They want to make sure it's run well.
One other thing, Judge, and I'll just get with it. While we're singing the praises here, this is an angle that I think a lot of people miss on. People don't understand, when you consider that beef is the #1 ag product in the state of Texas, a lot of that is because we can process and ship that product around the world. And a lot of that's due to the fact that the products that they make. It is very supportive of the beef cattle industry in the state of Texas, and that it has expanded our markets and our horizons because we're able to pack that stuff and ship it, and it's your product that helps do that. So, important to this state.
So I recall it makes good sandbags too.
It does make good sense.
Sure does. We still have some.
One night when we were running short of sandbags, when the floodwaters were raging, a quick call up there, and they had us fixed up pretty quick, and they worked great and saved the day.
Yeah.
The employees really enjoy that too, because it's a creative way to give back.
I feel it.
When we had people turn them in out there at the grocery store area, or they're bringing them out, they didn't need them and they didn't keep them. Well, there was a guy out there one day, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and I'd gone by to check things, and he's out there, everybody else is putting them there, he's loading them up. But he's sorting out and getting the ones in your all's bags. And I said, that's kind of interesting, everybody else is turning them in. He said, Judge, don't get mad at me. He said, I live in Clay County, but he said, they didn't do anything like this. And man, these bags are the best. So,
Never know.
Never know. But we do appreciate it. We appreciate the partnership. I'm glad that we'll be able to take action on this today and get that moving along.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other comments, anyone? Okay. Motion by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Watts on the consent agenda. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
Thanks, Barry.
Thanks.
You're very distinguished.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, you know, in this, you got Mary Hardin Baylor College.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
And Hardin Simmons and,
Hardin Elementary in Burke.
yeah. And,
All those.
Midwestern was known as Hardin College at one. Yeah. All right, item number 1 is review and approve the regular bills for payment.
Judge, we went through the regular bills on Friday, and it was a good budget discussion. I move that we approve to pay our regular bills.
Any comments or questions, anyone in the audience? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0. Item 2 is discuss and consider take action on a quote from Briegels in the amount of $2,900 for repairs to the showers in the juvenile detention. Juvenile detention? Is that?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
okay. Okay. That all sudden threw me. I had not read that. I skipped through that last night when I was reading that.
Judge, we had some challenges over there, and of course, Kirk's got his inspection coming, and
Mhm.
there were some problems with some of those showers, and he, as he does a lot of times, he found a little money in another line that he could put toward that, and it's going to get it straightened up, and should turn out pretty well, be a long-term fix, which that's what we're looking for, something's going to be there for a while, so I'd make a motion to approve that.
Okay, is there a second?
Yes.
Okay, any questions on that item? Comments? Okay. Motion by Commissioner Waller, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the item as stated. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 3 is discuss and consider take action to approve a quote from SKC Communications in the amount of $9,618.06, including freight, for a video project to be used in the main jail for an attorney-inmate video conferencing to be paid by transfer of 104-95001 to a line determined by the county auditor. Sheriff, did you have any comment on that?
No, sir, I don't. It sounds like it's, kind of the norm, something that we gotta do. Otherwise you get the, certain attorneys always threaten to sue the county if we're not doing something, then we go out and do it and never show back up to take advantage of what we did for them.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And it's interesting going to be when we do get to the point they can do video visitation from their office, how many of them will do that or not.
Right.
But
Well, I thought that's what this was.
it'll be more robust in the new, but yes, this will give part of that capability. But, you know, we have that right now. They can use the one over on the second floor in the annex, but very few of them use that.
Art, is this what
No.
you're talking about?
No.
No, this is something completely different. Of course, without a lot of details, it's hard to know.
Let's look at the backup on
Right now, are we able to do that at all? Do we do an inmate attorney maybe inside the jail where the
No.
inmates in the jail and the...
No, the court approved, had to build a bigger attorney booth out there at the annex. And because we had attorneys that were complaining they couldn't get in because of our daily operations, it's just hectic. And so we were finally got that built, and then some of them take advantage of that still. But it's just, this is kind of part of the, it's going to flow over into the new LEC jail, is to be able to have the attorneys be able to sit in their office and communicate with them while they're inside their cell. That's why in the, inside each of the pod, the cell blocks, there's going to be an availability to be able to push a portable Polycom telephone, phone system for the attorneys to visit back and forth.
How private is that?
It's a small room. It's inside the, just inside the vestibule area when you walk in, when you go into the pod or the dorm. So there'll be the only person in there. And the officer working inside that cell block, he'll be a direct supervision officer, so he'll still be able to have visual of what's going on. He just won't be able to hear what the attorney's saying. And those are not recorded lines either.
Oh.
They won't be recorded.
George, actually, we were talking about this video attorney inmate.
Okay. We purchased one of these previously, put it in the jail annex. It's the encased unit that has the phone. We have issues with bleed through, echoing, so we put these in the jail annex and alleviated all the problems. We budgeted for this year. I will go ahead and get the main jail one hooked up. We're finalizing our Polycom where the attorneys can call in, and this is the best way for the inmates to talk with their attorneys.
Actually, with this purchase here, will they be able to do it from outside the courthouse?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
I
that's
think
the final
great.
piece, yeah.
I think that's great.
To make that schedule work.
So they'll just
go, how does that work? I mean,
So, there'll be a website called Meet Me or Schedule Me at co.wichita.txt. The attorney will have to create an account, we create an account on our side. They would then schedule a time, and they'll actually schedule those devices. And then when they'll put the inmate in that room, and then the attorney would then connect via that portal, use their own webcam in their office, and then it would automatically call that room. And that way the inmate doesn't have to do anything except pick up the phone. That way, because there's certain ways that you can set up where you're forced to answer the call, and we don't want that. We just want it simple where all they can do is just answer the phone, and when they're done, hang up the phone. So, these are movable, so when the new jail comes online, these two can be moved. And they are counted in the count of equipment for the new jail.
But they could be all day long utilized, scheduled conferences happening
Yes.
for that.
Yes.
And when I'm in jail, how big is that I'm looking at, or something like that? So
Yeah, I think it's 22-inch screen.
Okay.
Cameras right from your face, and, has a phone, the cord, everything you talk in here through the phone, so no one can hear anything else.
How
Get rid of
does,
all the feedback too, doesn't it?
Yes, no echoing.
how does the jail know their schedules?
So the plan will be, once we get that completely online with the new unit, it will email the jail supervisors to let them know when there is something scheduled.
There's a pending video conference.
The overall goal is that will email the SharePoint calendar, and that it will actually schedule it on the calendar instead of just an email, and then they're going to email it scheduled, and then they'll have the ability to look at the calendar.
I'm sure
via
there'll be
SharePoint.
conflicts. Will the attorney know that we can't schedule at that time?
Yes,
It'll be
we
blocked or
can
something?
block off certain times, and then once something's scheduled, it will allow you to schedule something else.
On top of it.
Okay, the we you're using is the sheriff will block off certain times and schedule that.
The block off will be something done on the backside that we configured. The scheduling will be done by whoever the outside attorney is. It's automatic.
But the blocking would be like, we're not gonna do this during shift change, and we're not gonna do this
And
during mealtime.
those are pretty standard. They
Yeah.
don't really change unless something happens, like the room is down, or, they usually have a set time that they don't move people around.
Yeah.
So in the event of emergency where the sheriff calls and says, hey, we're not doing this today, it's very simple for us to go in and just block off that room.
And is this two of those phones? Or
No,
one?
it's one. We already have one at the jail annex.
Oh, okay.
It works great. This is the second piece for here.
Oh, okay,
So overall, we would have two of these devices.
okay.
In the new LEC, how many of those devices do we plan on having?
There's 18 of them.
That'll really open that up, and I
Yes.
think it'll be beneficial.
Yes.
Big time.
Well, and they also won't have to be transported. The way that, everyone's designed this, it's an option where they'll go into a room on their own, close the door, and use this device
Inside
inside their pod.
I think that's very good.
Yes, that's the goal.
Judge, I'll make a motion, we accept item 3 as stated.
Second.
Any other comments? Okay, we have motion by Commissioner Harvey, a second by Commissioner Beecham. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, say sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 4 is discuss, consider, take action to authorize the Alpha and Omega Wireless Incorporated to install antennas and radios for a LAN connection between the courthouse and the Lindeman Building at a cost of $8,954.22 to be paid by transfer from general fund contingencies or from permanent improvement fund to a line determined by the county auditor. Mr. Crutchfield.
Yes, sir, Judge. This is to get the link back up between courthouse and Lindeman. We had it on 2 weeks ago, maybe, with using licensed microwave, which was a little bit more than what the court was spent. Went back to Joe Wargo of Alpha Omega, These are 100 meg radios. It's what we're running currently between Bell Road and the precinct barn, and between EMO and precinct 1 barn. They've been working real good for that, and as short a shot as it is over to the Winnemem building, he feels like that we shouldn't have any problem with that.
George, is there no alternative? Do we have to spend $9,000 to get that lady over their email? Can we not just do Webfire? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we always used to do it.
There's nothing else currently that's available to go into that building.
Oh, there's no service over there?
No, sir.
So you'd have to build it out, and therefore it'd be a different cost or another.
And then
cost.
you'd pay for
But
it
this,
monthly.
you anticipate something like this having a life of what, George? If all things go
The
good.
radio that was there was, that was not bound with the air conditioner work. It's been there probably 10, 11 years. It was still working fine until it fell and broke. So there's just no knowing.
Does this give us more power to upload or move
Yes.
more document? than
Yes, sir.
what-
It's a higher bandwidth radio than what was there originally. So
What will the ongoing cost be, George? This is a one-time.
one-time cost. There may be some maintenance to that, but that one doesn't have
But
the
not
maintenance that
monthly.
the microwave does.
Not a monthly bill or anything. That makes it better.
Where is it going to be mounted? Can we, we're going to put a little roof on there.
We're still looking at mounting it on top of the
Parking garage?
parking garage on the stairwell shaft. I think it's still the best way to go with that.
Okay.
How tall up does it go above that, George?
I think maybe 3 feet.
Oh, so not,
It's
it
not,
doesn't stick
not
way
very
up.
tall at all. If you get up on, if you get onto the top of the Wyndham building, or even the top of the
Parking.
parking garage, you can look straight across and see our antenna on top of the courthouse. There's nothing between it and the courthouse.
Oh, okay.
So it should be fairly simple.
We need to make note of that location in our agreement, Judge.
Yeah.
If we execute that, we don't want to pay.
No. No, we'll take care of that. Any other questions?
Better option than the previous.
Yeah, it is.
We
I
accept
am, but I make a motion.
Already made it?
Yeah.
You did, I'm sorry.
You can be a second, though.
I can be a second, I will be.
Commissioner motion, yes, sir. All right. Any other comments or questions? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thanks, sir. Okay, item 6, trustee to take action to authorize county judge to sign the merchant payment parts processing agreement with Tyler Technologies pending review by legal counsel, and to approve the purchase of 10 MX915 credit card machines with accessories from Tyler Technologies at a cost of $741 each, for a total cost of $7,450 to be paid by transfer. Ms. Cully?
This is for the purchase of actual credit card machines to be used in all of the county offices. These will do the chip and signature. Currently, we don't have this capability in any of our other departments. They just use a card swap that goes to the internet. So this is taking us to an actual credit card vendor, kind of like what we did with Eagle. We have an actual machine. I did look to see if I could purchase these on our own. I found them for about $150 cheaper, but they did not have a 3-year warranty like this did. And I asked Tyler, do I have to get them for you? And they pretty much said no, but if anything goes wrong, we don't troubleshoot it. So,
Now, is there a third-party vendor?
yes, and that's what the merchant agreement is. I gave that contract to Meredith. It's actually the same people that we would be using for Eagle.
And where are all these located, actually?
There'd be a new machine in the county clerk on that side, 2 in the district, clerk 1 in each JP, 1 in the jail. Hot checks. Hot checks.
What about the outlying JPs?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, 1 in every JP.
Okay.
Tax assessor collector get one?
They don't currently use any sort of Odyssey product.
No Odyssey product. Did they take credit cards?
Yes, they do it on.
Well, is this, with the, when these are fully functional, will they upload to the software, the Tyler software, to indicate that this document
It's
has
it's
been?
basically a point of sale. You know, it's like
Okay.
you are when you know,
Right.
go to Walmart and check out. So this is the same thing. You ring them up for their fine, fee, and court costs, and if they want to pay with a credit card, same deal. You know, it comes up on there. They plug it in with their PIN or sign, and it all goes through. You know, pop the drawer and all those things.
You can go to Best Buy and get one of them squares, they can use your cell phone, and save a lot of money. $10.
Well, and it just, I know that it's something that we need to do and improve our systems. I'm wondering, and Meredith, this may be a question for you, but is it possible in the collections effort, and because I don't know, district clerk or county clerk, like if there is a pay agreement, and I'm assuming Billy has a page, Billy Smith comes in, he has a page there that we record that payment on. He can do that with a debit or credit card. Can he set up his 10 payment schedule and I go ahead and put the information into that so that next month it drafts automatically?
I don't know if it does that or not. We haven't discussed that with Tyler.
It would be really good if it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. They, with Odyssey, they'll also be able to go online and make their payments. So we're expanding it, not to just have them come into the office and make a payment, like in hot checks. They have to have exact cash to make a payment with us right now. And that can be problematic. So they can go online, they can come to any office. They show up to JP and they've got a hot check in our office, they can make payments on all of it.
It's if they online, if they type in their name and they owe JP1, you know, 1-1, and then they owe the district clerk, it'll tell them where, you know, everywhere that they owe, total it. And if they pay the whole thing, it knows where each thing goes and will pay the department.
Wow. And what happens to the fee as part of the, you know, Lori assesses a $100 fine and has these $2 fees underneath it, and total bill is $120.
They're all mapped out.
And then what about the credit card processing fee? Who's eating that, or does the client pay it?
The client pays it.
It's on top of, okay.
So it can be.
By law, it has to be.
Okay. Cool. Well,
Nothing wrong with that.
sounds good. I make the motion that we move forward with the process, and I'm assuming that everybody that's touching Tyler then will move this direction to this processor.
I'll second that motion, Judge.
This is figured in that initial Tyler money
Oh, okay.
that the IT department requested for this year.
Let me amend that a little bit, that item, I'll say plus shipping, just in case. Are you sure shipping's in?
I'm not sure, so.
So plus
No.
shipping,
I think it's at $254.
Do
Oh,
you
that was
know
3.
if Tyler, now is that a preferred vendor of Tyler on the merchant? It is?
Yes.
Does Tyler receive any type of processing fee of small?
If the payment's made online, there's an additional convenience fee for a payment that they make online and Tyler keeps that.
Okay. And then the merchant fee goes to the merchant and the Tyler keeps that. I noticed, and I never knew this,
Specifically
our
says shipping charges.
card software at the trash company, it has this feature.
right then, but
There's a reason we have it, because it's probably the best in payment, probably not as good for overall productivity reports and things like this. But I noticed in a report recently that it's a small fee that the software company keeps, the credit card merchant gets that fee, but an ACH bank payment from, let's say, I know I'm paying 10 payments, so I'll call my bank and set that up, is a fraction of the cost of that percentage fee, and we don't know how to actually,
get a customer to participate in that direction over, because everybody defaults to a card, you know, it's the easiest thing to use, but I did notice that, and I wondered if there was fees from both, because the good ones usually do when they incorporate into their software well.
We can follow up on that, whether they can schedule out payments.
Okay, cool.
On that. And I have, just for reference, I have reviewed the contract. It had some provisions in it that were different from our original Tyler contract that we had already negotiated. So I've marked those items and sent it back to Tyler and waiting to hear back.
Okay. Any other comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0. Item 6, discuss, consider, take action to approve submitted quotes for the Aquos Board 70-inch or 80-inch interactive display system plus accessories for the district courtrooms at a cost not to exceed $6,500 to be paid by transfer from 100,409.5001 to a line determined by the county auditor. Commissioner Beecham.
Yes, sir. Actually, we have two bids, or two quotes rather. One that I have here and one that IT is taking. I don't know what that total price was. What I have here is a 70-inch Aquos touchboard model PN-L703B, along with a optional PC and cart for the grand total, including shipping, of $57,1176. In talking with this company that does exclusive touchboards, they had suggested putting this PC with it, along with the document scan camera to be used in the courtrooms. This quote does not show it. It got cut off for some reason, but the document scan camera was an additional $300 and change. So without having the ability to review the bids for the one that IT has, that's why I put the $6,500 in that bid. What that bid was. Or quote.
Y'all remember?
What?
You remember what your bid was?
They're for the 80-inch.
The 70?
No, 80. The 80.
It was 9 something.
That's what I was thinking. Let me throw something back in that I became aware of since we last discussed this, Commissioner. One of the things I don't know, there's been a lot of discussion on some of this on the judge's listserv and along with court recording instead of court reporting. And they were talking about in there some of the deal of developing your local rules. We have court local rules. You have to have a section explaining how that is, you get it to use it and what courts can support it and do that. Plus, you have to have the ability for the jury to view the electronic presentations, again, in the jury room. And the only courtroom that has a ramp going from the court area into the jury room is the 30th. Maybe on the same level. I'm trying to think of the 78th and the 89th. But
They're both on the same level.
they are? Okay. So we'd have to have something to get that inside. I don't think you can put that 70-inch in that. You need no. But I'm just wondering, I know Judge Butler is the most interested in this.
Right.
Well, I thought we were going to let him develop those policies and procedures that you talked about.
I'm not.
Well, I clarify this.
Can I speak to
Yes,
that
ma'am.
issue? Okay, so I think we're talking kind of about two things. One is policies that require everything to be submitted electronically and there's no paper in the courtroom.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do that, you have to have your local rules amended, and you have to require that the exhibits be submitted electronically. and then you have to provide something to the jury in the jury room where they can look at those exhibits again. What we're testing and what we are thinking about is trying out one of these boards to see how they work in a courtroom. That doesn't mean we're going completely electronic.
Okay.
So we may be able to show the document electronically, but we may also have it in paper. So for now, you're not worried about pulling the board into the jury room because the document can still be shown electronically.
Yeah.
To take it one step further, that was one of the reasons they had suggested putting a computer with it, so all the images could be saved to the hard drive. And
Right.
then displayed
On a
a
regular TV.
smaller
Smaller
unit
TV.
inside the
Right.
jury room, and
Right.
what our kept as documentation.
Exactly.
So that was why
I
I
think
made the
we
suggestion.
had a trial recently where we had to provide the jury with some kind of electronic images, and what we did was a laptop that we took into the jury. I think, right, it was a laptop that we took into the jury room.
Yes, and it
Yes.
can't be connected to anything. It
Can't have internet.
Can't have internet, it can only be able to be seen on that. So in the past, suggestions have been, other courtrooms, they'll hang a TV on the wall in the jury room, and they'll require in their local rules that all that has to be submitted on a flash drive. And if the jury wants to look at it, then they're able to plug it into that TV and review those images.
It's the TV working like a monitor off a computer?
Yeah. Exactly. So the one thing I would suggest though is to consider that when you're looking at documents themselves that are on a board, the bigger the better. Because the jury's gonna have a hard time reading something that's, as opposed to watching a video of of an incident, or or looking at pictures of some sort of incident. If they're having to read a document, and it's not unusual, you have police reports, you have medical records, you have all kinds of things, maybe toxicology reports. So people need to be able to read that, not just look at it.
What was this the other day that somebody gave us a presentation in here and we kept blowing it up? How does that compare
So that screen
size-wise?
right here is 80 inches.
Oh, wow.
And about what you were viewable on at that time was about 70 inches.
That was during that Amoresco Energy
And
presentation.
we were right here.
Yeah.
Well, it's very poor quality.
Yeah, I think the quality had more to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't read it because it was blurry. It's terrible.
And very bland, not dark brand, it's very steady.
Yeah, and even the time clock, we're doing the time clock presentation,
Yeah.
zooming in, and, yeah.
The only other thing in this, right now, with the number of, just with Odyssey, and some things I'm concerned about time-wise, how much time this could take operating, utilizing, getting the equipment in place and doing by a staff right now that's pretty loaded. That's my only other concern in this.
Is there pre-work to the setup of, like, if a court goes on and their documentation?
I mean, first, I'm not familiar with it, so the first step is we would have to learn it, and figure out all the capabilities. And so then I would either have to create documentation, which is normally what we have to do, create some sort of, this is how you have to use the device.
Oh, instructions.
Instructions. And then we would have to probably find us an attorney who is kind of a little bit tech savvy, that we can then sit down with and say, okay, go over everything that you might use this for, and us work through the process. And then we have to, wheel it in there and work with them, see how they liked it. It's not just simple.
Judge Butler,
Yes, sir.
we're talking about this touchscreen deal that we wanted you to blaze the trail on because we feel like you're pretty tech savvy.
With their help.
But it's not going to be just open the box and use it. It's going to have to be some.
No, when we used a similar system in, I'm sorry, my apologies.
Yeah.
We used a similar system in the federal courts.
Judge, if you don't mind, we get complaints about the lack of audio.
That's fine. When we used a similar system in the federal courts, when I was practicing, there was actually training for it, because it can be kind of complicated. However, that was 11, 12 years ago. Now the
Was it
attorneys-
DOS-based? Just kidding.
No, it wasn't. No, actually, it was, no, it was very good. Now the attorneys, though, in our area, Clay has the setup, Montague has the setup, Archer already has the setup, Wilbarger has it. I mean, so the attorneys that practice in our courts, also, the majority of them practice in those courts as well. So if it's a similar system to what they use, then most of the attorneys that practice in those areas are already pretty well versed in it. And any of the attorneys who do the federal criminal work or federal civil work, they already are familiar with the federal system, which is probably not too far removed from what y'all are talking about. That was the thing, I was trying to get in touch with some of the people in Clay, Archer, Montague, and Wilbarger to try to figure out what system they had and what they were using. I haven't been able to get in touch with anybody who knows.
The one in Montague is actually, it's the first generation of this. It's a smart board, but it still has to plug into a computer. It doesn't actually project it up, via the computer that's attached or whatever you're working with. So it's basically a big monitor that you can write on. That's what they use in Montague currently. Clay doesn't have anything.
They got it set up.
They have since I've been there, but last time I did. But I don't know about Clay, but Montague is just an actual old school big monitor you can write on.
Judge, that may be their system. However, I think what we had been talking about was something that would be wireless access, and then they could have their computers at the council table.
Yes. And you can hook up multiple devices to one. You can set up to where the defense and the prosecution both are hooked, and it's just a switch between button that allows them to switch between their screens instead of either cumbersome having to plug it in or hook up. The device that I priced out allows you to hook up multiple up to 10 devices that would split up the screen. It will give you a security code. So like if I wanted to show my phone, there's an app that I would put on my phone. It would give me a security code. I would put in the code and then it would display whatever was on my screen. I mean, it has tons of possibilities. Video, you can draw, anything you write or draw, you can save locally, which one that I priced out would you can save to the network. You have the ability to print it on the network. There's a lot of things that it's just not showing a video or a document.
Yeah. And Judge, what happens, so I understand, what happens when two attorneys use this type of thing in your courtroom? Do you see it on your computer, or?
The way it is now, I mean, there are systems like that, because that system was priced out to set up with all the courts. But what I think they're talking about, no, I won't have access to it. What will have to happen is have to go through the process of rulings with regard to evidence of what could be published and shown. A lot of times, I think what they can do is not publish it or not put it up on the monitor itself. I hate to call it a monitor, but that's essentially what it is. Put it up on the monitor. They would have it at council table, and we would already had evidentiary hearings outside of the presence of the jury, or they would be able to, here's what I'm going to offer, look at, one of those, and then when it's published, it goes up to the monitor.
And whose benefit is it for it to be on the monitor? The juries? Is that who's reviewing it, or the people in the?
Absolutely.
For everybody in the room to see? Or
well, it would be everybody in the room to see. I mean, right now what we have is a whiteboard that acts like a screen that they publish documents on. Yeah, it would be.
They projected on it?
Yes. It would be for our juries and for anybody else in the courtroom. When we're picking a jury, they use, most everybody now is using PowerPoint and has been for some years now. I think the DA's office almost requires it out of their attorneys during the voir dire process. So that's a difficult one to see in a lot of our courtrooms, the way they're set up. They're not, our courtrooms weren't set up for this, period. So the jury has difficulty seeing during the voir dire process the slides that are coming up that assist in jury selection. In the bigger courts like the 30th or something like that, it's very difficult. My court is smaller, so it's not as difficult. But that, the whole process and being able to possibly, if it's mobile, what we're talking about the cart, you might be able to move it to a point in the room where you would be able to see it better. That would be for the 30th. I can't see the other ports are small enough like mine, but I wouldn't see it being an issue if it was mounted on the wall along those lines.
Well, it'll be on the cart.
Yeah, for now, but here's the other problem you run into. Just like this week, we might have 2 or 3 courts going at the same time. And these aren't used just during voir dire. These are used throughout trial. And then when you run into our everyday hearings, our family law hearings, that all 5 courts have jurisdiction over, I mean, those are exhibit-heavy hearings. And so they're putting exhibits up all the time. At that time, it would not be a jury most of the time. Most family law cases are not jury cases, they're tried to the bench. However, I mean, we could utilize it at the same time.
Well, I believe the intent of this court was to provide you with a tool that would make your life a lot better. But we wanted to start out with one.
I understand.
And see if it was something you wanted or the courts wanted and that works. And so we're putting our toe in the water. Well, yeah, I'm buying one for every court yet.
Well, we don't have to be the pioneers on this. Matter of fact, we're lagging behind. I mean,
Sure.
you've got Monte and these other, Willwater, they already have this. I mean, it's like our software system back when we were talking about this years ago. We're already behind the curve. We're just trying to catch up. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but we're not the pioneers on this. We're not testing a water. It's there. I mean, it is used in almost every court around the state, except in Wichita.
I'm not talking about testing the waters for the state. I'm talking for our people,
And Commissioner, I
our
understand that,
applicants.
but what I'm saying is, it's already been done and it's already in place everywhere else.
Sure.
We're behind the curve trying to catch up. I mean, that's what I'm
We're
getting.
trying to catch you up, so.
I understand.
And that's
Well,
one of the
I think
things,
our
too.
challenge is we want to try to put something together to work in our facility. I don't know what the Montague deal is, the Willwater deal is. I need something to work in your courtroom. I don't know how to compare it all.
And here's the,
That's what we're trying to do.
here's the situation, and when we, many years ago, I don't know, Judge, what, 6, 7 years ago, when we went through and looked at the technology in the courtroom, each courtroom was designed by someone who, this is what they do. And we made sure that the judge had control of everything. When he was talking about the ability to publish that document. This board, it doesn't give him that capability. He doesn't have control over what's displayed. He doesn't have the ability to see it from his bench. There are other variations. This is like basically just a board where you're going to roll in and you can see documents and images. What these other places have, where they have the ability to, the jury can see it, the defense, the prosecution can see it, his ability to, if someone objects, to be able to pull the document down.
Doesn't come with the.
Well, actually, I might remind you that this is your recommendation to the court to buy this.
This was a recommendation to use for the technology department, to put up on, yes, sir, to put up on 4.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I thought it was
I
courts.
took that in mistake, we talked about both of them.
Yeah,
but
this was used
particular
up
time, it's just
for us to
okay.
use up in Tyler to train, for all of our training on Tyler University, and the ability to test this out. We were going to use it down in grand jury to see how it worked, and then actually to be able to put it in one of these courtrooms to see how it would even work, if they can even see it or use it. Because like the judge was saying, in order to use it in for his jury, he would have to get up from his bench and go sit out there with them to be able to see that screen. If you put it in the 30th, Judge Brotherton would have to move from his bench to go sit out in the public to see what the jury's seeing.
He would probably already have those documents papered on his desk.
He could.
He probably wouldn't get up and go
Unless
sit
you
with him.
rewrite the local rules where they have to be submitted.
And which a lot of jurisdictions go to. Federal definitely goes to.
Is there ever concern that one of the 2 attorneys put something up inadvertently, quickly,
And that's what she's talking about. That's the absolute concern. And that's why, when we came to y'all, I don't know how many years ago, it was 6 years ago, the system, the way it's supposed to be done, to where it is closed in, where the judge does have control of it. That's the way it's supposed to be done. This is putting our toe in the water. Whether it's a long-term solution or not, I don't know. In my opinion, it puts our toe in the water, I guess, and gets us somewhere closer to where we're supposed to be. But as far as an interim solution,
It's not the ideal situation.
no, the ideal situation was when the companies came in, or the company came in, and this company, that's all they do, pretty much, is set up courtrooms for technology and the sound systems, the Polycom, everything.
So do we have that quote?
Yes, sir.
We had it from 6 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I've redone it.
50,000.
Okay, that was my question. What was the ballpark there?
Yeah, it's roughly that. I don't know how high it would be now, or how low, or if it's on, it may be cheaper, I don't know.
Each one of those was built for their courtroom.
Yeah, yeah, so that's, I mean, that's the end game. This is just a shot. I mean, it's not.
You have to remember, when we looked at that quote, there was still some discussion as to where the courtrooms were going to be. We were still looking at several proposals for law enforcement center, which might have included courtrooms. So you don't want to go spend $250,000 outfitting courtrooms, and a year, 18 months later, you rip that out and go do something else. That was part of the concern at that time.
Well, I think that concern's been alleviated for at least the next 30 years.
I agree. But that's where we were when we looked at that.
Right, right.
And that was part of the consideration.
Sure. But, you know, I mean, we're still, I mean, we're operating courts out, we're operating on a 1970s level, long and short.
Well, you know, I'm just gonna say, if we can remodel the grand jury area down there for $400,000 and not bat an eye, why couldn't we spend $250,000 on our courts and not bat an eye? And bring us into the 21st century? I mean, apples and apples, I mean, they're not asking for
Well, yeah.
a tremendous amount of money.
It's probably twice that, but yes, I mean.
You think it is twice that?
Well,
Half a
no,
million?
I'm not talking about the technology. I'm just thinking about what Judge needs to bring his room to be fitted and updated and all of that. That 50,000 is separate and apart, but even if so it be, I mean, it's something we can do. We can move towards that.
That's my point. It's something we can do.
If I remember the quote, I mean, most of it, you know, if you're talking about wiring and stuff like that.
All the wiring was included.
It was included.
I mean, it was tubes in the floor with.
It was a directed turnkey operation, the judge had control of everything.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we need to head.
And it was custom designed for each
But,
courtroom.
well, I'd hate to go in there and put all that in and then have to tear it out to paint Gary's or fix it all up and get it all the way we want it, or rearrange or do whatever.
We're gonna do on the third floor yet.
I'll do without painting carpet if we can get the court where it's more functional.
Is there any, Judge, is there any consideration, like in your courtroom, do we need to do window treatments to enhance this? I know you've got direct
I ordered the blinds when I first got here.
That's the great thing when you move away from projectors to actual TVs.
Yeah.
The sun doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, big difference.
And these are designed to read documents. That's the reason why these screens are more expensive than if I went to Walmart and bought, a TV, even a 65-inch TV, I could walk out the door for $700. That's not what these are made for. They're made for high pixelation, what you were talking about, if it's fuzzy. These boards are not like that. These monitors that were quoted for his board are not like that.
Yeah, I mean, the system makes it more functional. This would act as an easier way for the documents and slides and stuff like that to be shown. It would, and if it's on a cart, if we're using it during, like a civil bench trial where there's numerous exhibits, lots. If you had it on a cart, you could use the cart, the judge could use it as well, have it turned towards him, where he could see it too. But the quote that we got, if I remember correctly, the way the big boards were mounted could be turned. So that really wasn't a concern of mounting them on the wall and then just being used for that, and the judge would have to get up and go sit in the jury box or whatever.
We actually took pictures from each seat in that place to make sure that where we were mounting these items from, it can be seen from any place you were in the courtroom. We put a lot of time and effort into specking them out.
In the company, like I said, that did this, that's what they do. It wasn't just going to Best Buy and getting somebody.
Can we get them back?
Sure, I mean, that's who I order all of our, I mean, SKC is who I use for all of our.
Wasn't part of the discussion though, when we were talking about this, and I can't remember, but it's been, what, a couple of years ago? Maybe 3, I don't remember.
It's
But
before my time, Barry.
Anyway, wasn't part of the discussion that we had problems mounting monitors on the benches?
There has been some issues with our
That's a
judges. It's not, that's not the challenge, it's that there is not a lot of room. Once I start sticking monitors, his is a little different. He has some space on the side, but once I start sticking monitors up there, they lose their desk space because, I mean, their bench is literally this wide.
Right.
So there was some concern.
But that's some of the change I'm talking about. I hate to put that in and then have to redo where.
Put it on an arm,
But,
mount it down here.
I mean,
There are some other options.
I'm very interested, and I do think that y'all visited about this prior to me coming, but I would be very interested in seeing this proposal incorporated. We know that we have an air conditioning / other equipment coming. We know that courtrooms are a priority to us, as is Patty's office renovation as well. But depending on where we're at on this air conditioner upgrade and lighting upgrade, it may very well fit that we can move to it with some renovation. And I'm like the judge, I mean, we don't have to totally redo the place, but still we need to fix what needs to accommodate for us to do. But I would rather see the comprehensive package.
Well, and his quote was new sound, new microphones. It wasn't just, we covered all the bases.
But he needs that.
Right.
He does
And
need
we put in Polycom devices so that way he could, instead of us paying to have an expert witness come in, we could actually dial in. And there was a lot to that quote. It wasn't just a, hey, here's you can see a PowerPoint presentation.
Well, what you just said saves us money. What you just said, if an expert witness can dial in from Atlanta and not have to travel here, and us pay his mileage and room and board and all that stuff, I mean, that's...
Well, then you've got the other issues with litigants now. It's easier for litigants to request to be granted to come in remotely. Like we've had 2 or 3 hearings in the last couple of months where there was a witness. One was in Alaska, one was in Georgia. And the way the rules are moving, they're moving along with technology and allowing the request to be granted for those witnesses to testify via Polycom or telephone or whatever. The last 2 times we've had to do it, we had to do the telephone system from emergency management again where we could hear it. So it's moving that way. Another thing you got to think about too is if we're going towards paperless, those things you're talking about, say, well, the judge will have it on paper probably beforehand. Not necessarily. So if we're moving towards paperless, I mean, we're being drugged this way, whether we want to be or not. I mean, it's just kind of one of those. It's just the time the dragon said. So.
Let's do an RFP.
I'm sorry, Mark.
Do an RFP for.
Let's get them back.
Well, I'm thinking more than one person, more than one bid.
One thing with the total of the quote was for all the courtrooms, but they were broke out by each courtroom. So if y'all's desire was to do one courtroom, you're not looking at the whole $250,000 to start with, one courtroom.
Get it done.
Make sure that works, see how it flows and whatnot, just, and do it piecemeal. As courtrooms get remodeled, then you do that, you don't have to do them all.
And that's surely the best way to do it is a courtroom at a time instead of getting everything.
And that's the way we split it out, because, I mean, that was what made sense to us. We picked his, not only was his the cheapest, but, he's obviously, out of everyone, the most tech savvy, and that's where we wanted to start. And then, we wanted to do it as a budgeted item, we're just coming in here and asking for.
We do need to consider though anything that's going to come in addition to it, such as redoing the bench. We've got to do that in most places where they have to do it. And that was part of the discussion before, is that we weren't really ready just to mount a monitor on it, because all of a sudden, the judge has got the monitor, you can't see the courtroom. I mean, and that is a problem in some of our
In
work.
6 and 7 years
We need to take that
ago,
into consideration.
the capability of mounts and things to lay flat, that was not a thing, you know, and now.
There was a lot of discussion.
Yeah, there are so many different, you know, there's so many different ways to mount things, you know, to lay down and ability to turn and, you know.
Get it out of the way,
Get it out of
swing
the
on,
way.
whatever.
Yeah.
I say that we take that approach.
I do too. I mean,
We
I
are-
can see where, you know, I was thinking that we were putting our toe in the water on this, but it's not even the right solution.
No, it's not the right
It's like
solution.
money spent that was not,
Now,
it doesn't fix the
other
problem.
than the fact that I do have to say, I attended with the judge, and I don't know if I told y'all all this or not, but we went up there to a meeting, and Meredith was with us. Oh, we were talking about LEC procedure, and every single time traffic goes down that road in the training room, because of the screen, you have to wait because it shakes. The project, you can't read the projector.
What are you talking about?
In the training room,
On the fourth floor,
I couldn't believe it, Drew. The traffic, somebody would drive down by the parking lot here, and the projector and why it's doing that, I don't have a clue. It's
Well, if it's doing it, we got some serious structural issues.
I told the judge the same thing.
I mean, come on.
That's reassuring.
so in our tech room, we hung a projector up on the ceiling mount to project on that big huge wall, and so when the traffic goes by, it shakes the projector. You have to wait for it to stop moving.
I think you ought to move the training room somewhere a little more stable.
As for us, I am not in a position where I have time to approach the screen or anything. So, you know, if you want to move forward with looking at doing courtrooms correctly, I mean, I would just hold off on this and we'll revisit it, you know, at a different time.
Well, I think we're pretty close to incorporating some of these monies together for this renovation and these type of things, because Meredith's going to be, her project's going to be complete. Court wants to continue to move, and certainly a real consideration to look at this comprehensive package.
I'm with you. I'd rather spend smart money and not just spend money that we're going to turn around and replace with other equipment later. I'd rather just do it right.
Two things you got to consider. One is we got to get through the Odyssey project. The amount of time this will take to do it.
Right, and work with any vendor coming in.
I agree.
So the second thing, if it's going to require any modification of the courtroom bench or any of that, where are we going to put that court during that time? We don't have a spare courtroom. So,
Gary, what would happen? I mean, have you ever thought about that very question? If we started with you and we did those changes and upgrades needed to accommodate this stuff, where could we stick?
Depending on the length of time, across the hall, the old Commissioner's Court, Judge Dockery, she's a traveling judge as well. We could use, she would not, I guarantee you, Judge Dockery wouldn't care when she's not there, if that courtroom's able to be used. Also, Judge Bondurant up on the fourth floor, she's also a traveling judge. So there would be days, I mean, it would be, scheduling would be difficult, but it could be accomplished. It would be, now for jury trials, that's a different ballgame.
You have to be in your room.
Yeah, we have to be in. So there's only 2 jury weeks out of every month. Some months have 1, 1 month has 1, I think. So, I mean, if it could be scheduled to work around something like that, I don't think what they're talking about, I don't think you're talking weeks and weeks out of the courtroom. I think you're talking.
See why you could do this in a week.
Yeah.
well, I've thought that about a number of projects.
I mean, even if you got a string cable and all that, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's.
You come in on Friday afternoon and do it all weekend, maybe.
We're not talking about like the remodel.
we're not knocking out walls.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about.
We're just stapling Cat 5 cable to the wall.
You're talking
Staple
about running
gun,
cables. You know, the thing that y'all are going to is if you had to redo a bench, I mean, that might take some days. Depending on how you want it done. I mean, if you're just extending the desk area, I mean, I don't know. But what I would say is, from what I've seen in other places, the mounts, like she said, have come so far
Yeah.
to free up that desk space that I don't think that's going to be an issue. I really think that's a non-factor.
Okay. Just the realization is this is great. It's not headed to the front burner right now. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Do we desire to take any action on this item or let that?
Let's just
Table it? Okay. Okay. All right, item number 7, discuss, consider, take action to set a holiday schedule for the calendar year 2019. You all received that in your packet. There is one proposed additional holiday to make Christmas the 24th, 25th, and 26th. No, I'm sorry, 25th, 26th, and 27th.
Pardon me.
I heard, as soon as that went around, immediately I heard from a number of the ladies as that went through our office, that's not going to work for me because we have Christmas on Christmas Eve. And I need that day off to cook and get everything ready. And so, besides, we don't need to be adding, that ripple of adding another holiday causes half the people sitting out there in the audience a lot of planning to then how I'm either going to rotate those people off, we're going to pay for additional holiday work. It's no small deal to have a holiday.
Judge, what is that November 11th? It's not.
That's Veterans Day.
I say if we're going to do that, we're going to have to give one of them.
Do we take back the 27th and encumber the 24th?
The 24th and the 25th have been the traditional days we've given. And
So you're take back the 26th and the 27th?
right, and if people want to be off, that's what we have vacation, and we tend to have,
It's a slow time. It's a good time for that, I guess. People wanting to take off.
I think the 24th, 25th is better.
Yeah, there's no reason to change that tradition.
I'm just glad Thanksgiving doesn't get moved around. Any comment from the audience?
What about Thanksgiving Eve?
It's usually a holiday too.
You gotta smoke turkeys all day, Thanksgiving Eve, right, Tommy? And
It has never impeded him doing that. He's versatile, adaptable.
Thank you for your kind words, Judge.
Yes, sir.
You can have to look at it for about every 6-8 hours and keep fire.
Keep firing.
So,
what do we celebrate on Columbus Day?
Columbus.
When was the last Columbus Day celebration you attended?
Down to the lake, we ran the boats up and had, there's a number of the holidays, but it's because they're federal banking holidays that we've often observed. That's why.
Well, I guarantee you that 95% of the businesses in Wichita County will be open and running and gunning on Columbus Day.
They will be
What do you
on
mean?
Christmas Eve and on the 26th for sure. They'll be.
we currently have 13.
I'm just saying,
days, right? Don't we currently have 13?
Yes, sir.
13
So,
days.
Judge, your proposal is to do away with the 26th, 27th, but encumber the 24th.
4th and 25th.
Which would give it 13 days.
Yeah.
Right now, it's 14 days.
I would make the motion to do just that.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Beecham, second by Commissioner Watts, to set the holiday schedule, but come back to the normal days of December 24th and 25th, be the holidays instead of those proposed. Any other comment from the audience?
I have.
Yes, ma'am.
One comment. I just want to make sure you'll check that with the district judges, because when I do the jury calendar, if the judges still say the 24th, or 25th, 26th, 27th, and y'all are saying the 24th and 25th, I've got to figure out the jury calendar.
Okay, they come in and propose that Commissioners Court sets holidays, period. And they just, as I recall, they rotate which court's open for
That's true.
that period of time, and.
That's why I haven't done the jury calendar yet, because I wanted to find out.
Okay.
Because I didn't think three days of Christmas would fly.
No.
So that's why I didn't do it, but I want to make sure the judges don't tell me they're closed these days, and so I can get the jury calendar.
Okay, I can't tell you when the judges are going to be closed or open, that's their call.
Yep.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Item 8, receive law enforcement center update from Commissioner Beecham.
Really not a lot to report on. Fence is about 90% up with the fabric. They should be hanging the remaining fabric this week and putting the razor wire around the fence. Parking lot is complete except for the landscaping sprinkler system. Ran into a little snag on that.
The one in front, the one called.
Yeah. Is that?
I'm just thinking what you said, the landscaping.
Yeah, landscaping and sprinkler system.
Principal of the company doing
it.
Yeah.
Well, there's not a problem with it, we just haven't
No,
got it done yet.
it hasn't been done because the owner of the company.
Oh.
So we're waiting on them to get back up on their feet to finish that.
Yeah.
But other than that, things are moving along. We did change the final bid date to June 28th, which moved our groundbreaking up a few weeks. I'm trying to find that date and what it is now.
August 10th or 11th, that Friday.
I'll look it up on my calendar here. Yeah, it is August 10th.
Yeah.
So that will be the groundbreaking day. August the 6th, we should have our final budget hearing on that. Receive all of our bids.
The groundbreaking deal is going to be fairly bland. Sheriff will look at the traditional thing, a tent, some
Shovels, targets.
yeah, and
I thought y'all liked the other proposal, have backhoes at the first scoop, you know, about 9 or 10 of them out there, everybody do it.
we don't want to risk damaging all those backhoes.
I'm thinking Tannerite.
That might be dynamite.
Tannerite will go a hole, get us going.
So that sandstone out there, be exactly.
Mark, one thing that caught my attention this weekend going by there, where we pulled the fence back for the parking lot,
Yeah,
you know, in front, we still have a piece of a fence.
and that's coming down.
Okay.
I'm busy with them on that.
Okay, good.
The building looks fantastic now that the fence is gone,
Yeah.
the parking lot's
It does.
especially at night.
Oh, it made it.
Yeah.
It's a completely different building. So, but yes, that little piece of fence will be coming down.
Good.
There was Commissioner Harvey mentioned to me, you saw the lights on, you went to work early one morning and
Yeah, we've got to put a timer on the gun range lighting or something. Sheriff,
Sorry, we're multitasking.
I come by about 4:30 one morning and all the lights were on the gun range. And I was thinking we ought to put some kind of timer or something on
Well,
it.
that was discussed when we built all that, and those were the night lights, they call them. We discussed that before, about there's not night light going on out there.
Well, every pole, overhead pole was lit.
They have a lower light.
There's a lower light that faces either outward or down toward the front.
On the poles?
Yeah, on the pole itself.
Smaller and not the main lights.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
security light.
It was lit up like broad daylight.
If the main lights are on, it looks like Texas Speedway.
Yeah, it was.
The other ones look like
That's what caught my eye was, what's that? It was really bright. So I was thinking if we just put a timer on it, if somebody forgets, and plus it's safer to get in your car and drive off with the lights on, and a few minutes later, they turn off on their own.
But well, there was the night light for security, not for somebody shooting out there.
Right.
And if, and I suggested they do something with it, just have it there on the building and just probably one at the top, shine it back down to the gun range itself, where you can see anybody out there. I mean, it's a, you know what it looks like, it's a big alley, you can see anything with it. It's just the exterior side of it, and the building itself, the connects, stores, the gates, and be simplified more than that. And we get
I firmly believe that it wasn't the security lights that were on, because if that's security lights, I sure hate to see where the real lights were. Because it was bright.
They're bright.
What makes the security lights come on?
An eye.
For the darkness?
Yeah. Patrol goes by there at night, and I know when the transport comes back and forth from the jail, if those lights would all be on, normally they would call somebody.
That's what I told Woody. I said, well, them guys are out there, they go in and out all the time. I mean, surely somebody would have seen it and turned them off. And then Mark just said, we just need to put a timer on it. I thought, that's probably the best solution.
Well, once the fence is all up, like the sheriff said, we can probably just simplify with one light downrange and a couple lights around the building's all we would need.
If y'all want, we could go and get Archer to just give an idea what we want to look at, and see what maybe some.
Get some wall packs on the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
sufficient.
Simplify some of it. Although they're LED, they're bright.
They're bright.
If you want to collect some June bugs, go stand out there in the middle of that thing. Right now.
Oh, I bet you do have a lot of cleanup.
Have some stock in your retention tank. There's plenty of bait.
It's hard to shoot when you're doing this.
Hey, you want realistic conditions. All right. Okay, Commissioner, anything else on that? When you get a final, when the parking lot's done, we need to get that, all the bills together, the Yates, architect, contractor. I haven't figured out on that parking lot whether that, when he broke that water line, whether.
If that was charged back.
Huh?
If that was charged back.
I don't know. And I don't know whether, and there was some time also, a couple of our deputies put in some extra hours, and we need to get that into that. I just don't know what's happened on that. Okay. Item number 9 is open bids to take action on road materials for the second half of 2018. We have any?
Quick question.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Is there going to be a day when they open the bids, does that date set yet for the bid opening and where it's going to be at for the LEC?
Yes, June the 28th, and it will be at Littleton.
At Littleton?
What time?
I don't have that on my sheet. I think it's 2 p.m. Don't hold me to that.
June 28th.
Thank you.
3 p.m. Sorry.
3 p.m.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any bids?
10.
While those are getting passed out, did you all get a deal from Texas Association of Counties is putting on a mental health thing?
I think Nancy forwarded it to us.
Yeah.
Forwarded to me Friday. I didn't read it because none of the word.
Okay, there should have been. What I'm wondering was there a direct mailer, but I've called and asked them, and there's going to be 2 or 3 of the sessions to be pre-appointed to law enforcement, JPs, and to jail stuff. But
I'll review it when I get back downstairs. Rest of my
okay, first bid is from Rocking A Trucking. Is that what you said?
I think it would just be hauling.
Okay, and that's just hauling for them. And and these prices are good up to 25 cents per gallon fuel, and he does haul to all locations in Wichita County. CG Asphalt out of Lawton. They have bid Hot Lay, FOB at $53.75 a ton. Wichita Falls is $68.75. Valley View is $71.75. Iowa Park $71.75. Burke Burnett $67.75. And Electra $69.75. FOB prices, for Coal Lake is $66.75 at the plant, $81.40. Wichita Falls $74.75, and they do bid all locations.
Asphalt.
From Asphalt and Fuel Company, they have bid the cutback road oils, and I'm not going to read all 24 prices there. Yeah, where they build that matrix.
Rye asphalt. Pretty much same scenario with that.
Can read all that, Dennis?
Yeah, well, no, most of it says no bid. They did bid the cutback oils and the emulsions. DeLisi's prices are generally always at point of origin. They bid it out of their two locations, Richard Spur and Roosevelt Quarry. Where is the Roosevelt Quarry? Anybody know? You must not go there then.
Roosevelt, Oklahoma, that.
Huh. They did not bid 3/8 number 10 chips washed. Okay. Ergon is a asphalt product. They did bid the emulsions only to all locations in Wichita County, but not all emulsion products that we have there. Vulcan Materials Company. They do a C attached on. They did bid all locations. They are proud of the delivery gang, but it's coming from San Antonio. $107.65 a ton to Electra.
I guess I am. Well, Steve's for
Bless you.
10, 15 minutes. If you hold that till I get through, it's going to be like.
Okay. They bid the cutback oils, the RC250, MC250, MC800, MC3000, and MC30, and both at their plant and delivered to Wichita Falls. Zach Burkett Company. They have bid Hot Lay asphalt mix at $60 a ton at the plant, delivered in all locations, Wichita County, ranging from $62.61 to $68.60. And Colway pickup at their plant at $67.50 a ton. And they also offer a product called Patch and Pave for $95. Is that the one over?
Dallas.
Out of Dallas. Okay, the only thing they did was crusher run, 3/8 screening and fines. I don't know whether they have that to spec or not, but the prices aren't, for the crusher run is $9 a ton, but you got to go to Dallas to get it. Okay. I'd ask the court for a motion to take this under advisement until.
So moved.
Second.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks, allowed for 2 weeks.
You're too late, Judge King.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0. We're down to the part of public comment. Commissioners, why don't we go ahead and move into the section. We have this set up now for general budget discussions on elected officials' salaries. Right now, the proposal is $1,000 per person per office. That was for employees, $1,000 for each elected official on that. And I think, judges, on your alls, we would have to pass that through juvenile board, or, because you've got to say 1,000 below district judges, is that correct?
That piece, I mean, that's our law.
Yeah.
Lots of CCL judges around the state are paid more, but that's our statute, that's our floor.
Yeah, okay. So if we did anything to that, then we've got to come around and, I think, do it through the juvenile board.
I don't think you have to. I think you can, but I don't think you have to.
Probably from tracking, it'd be as easy to do it that way. Does anyone have some particular case difference you want to present? We had a couple of people submit salary increases, but they're not here. So,
I mean, y'all heard it before. I mean, if you want to hear it again about the court reporter situation, I mean, that's still an issue.
I thought we did 1,000, just like we did you.
Well,
no.
The prior court did, but this court last year decided not to.
Well,
basically said, sorry, we know that was the agreement we had in the past, but these are hard times, we're not doing that. I mean, if I'm wrong with regard to that, please don't.
Well, I think that's correct.
Yeah,
okay.
No, they weren't.
But whatever, we had the same, I mean, it makes sense. If we're paid $1,000 less than the district judges, then our court reporters stayed with theirs. So that's, I mean, I can't remember what the difference is this year, but I mean, that's what I'd be requesting again.
They didn't, at least we haven't heard anything from the district judges saying they're going to increase their court reporters. Now.
Well, from the past though, I mean, that disparity got created again last year.
Yes.
And so, if we're going to make it up, let's make it up.
I mean, you have 2,000 coming to your office.
That's not going to get you there.
No, I know.
Disparity. I mean, what I was asking the court to do was honor what the previous court said they were going to do. That was all I was asking.
Yeah.
And that's what I was asking them.
Okay.
I mean, with the other part of it, I mean, you know, I mean, that's, I've got one other employee, so, you know, my pot's not that big to pull out of.
No.
And my budget's not anywhere near as big as a lot of the officers.
Well, and that, yeah, and then we got some offices with one person in them, so they really don't have much chance. But the other thing, we did set limits on it, it has to be a minimum of 500 for each person and no more than 1,500. So we didn't have somebody get, and part of that was trying to look at those years we worked at leveling and setting a structure to not all of a sudden have somebody totally break that apart, which is what.
I mean, what I would say is, I would really like y'all to honor the agreement before, so I don't have to go back and spend the hours of research that I did like last time to show you what the salaries were again. I mean, tell me yes or no, that's fine, I'll do whatever I gotta do with it, but save me a little time calling every similarly situated county to compare apples to apples, not apples to apes.
That's a lot of time for you to do that. That really doesn't bear a whole lot of weight on, seriously. I mean, it's great to know where we're at compared to other counties, but.
Well, typically when people would come before you to ask for a salary, if you had a new position created in this county, I think what you would probably do is look at similarly situated counties to find out what it is.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Instead of comparing, you know,
Ford County.
well, I mean, instead of comparing two completely different positions and then just coming up with a number. So that's what I tried to do, is make it where it's logical, where you see what the average is across the state for us, not just across the state, but for similarly situated.
The average across the state has growth and new tax base that we don't have, and that's my point. That I appreciate that they can make better money somewhere else that has a lot better tax base than we do, but we are stuck with what we have.
I got you, and that's why I went to those, you know, other counties that are like us and got those numbers. What I'm concerned about is, you know, the turnover that we possibly could have in that specific position, the lack of pool to draw from in that position.
It's going away, and less and less people are becoming court reporters. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think that's typically correct across the state, across the nation. The numbers that are going into that area are down. And so, of course, they're turning outwards. It's just the same stuff we talked about last year. Exactly.
And Judge, I don't see where anything is different.
In fact, the only difference right now, we've been notified we're likely to be worth $100 million less as a county than we were last year. Now, that doesn't help us in trying to do anything salary-wise.
I understand. I'm just saying,
yeah.
We talked about this before. There was reasons we did it. We set it at 1,000 so we can keep up with everybody. And it worked. Even compromised in those first 2 years to get them caught up by only going half a year.
Yes.
And then last year, the agreement was not. Long and short. So,
and, yeah.
Which I know a prior commissioner court cannot bind the current commissioner court. I got no issues with that. I'm just saying, that's what it was, and it made perfect sense to keep them in line. Just like I said about county court of law judges. You know, your floor for Judge King and myself is $1,000 less than the district courts. There are a lot of county court of law judges across the state that make a whole lot more than we do. Because it's up to the county and the county commissioner's base.
It's up to our tax base.
No, I understand. I'm not getting at your tax base. What I'm getting at is, you got Paris, Texas. See, I'm not asking for me to be increased. I'm fine where I'm at. I'm just informing y'all. That's the way it is a lot of other places.
Judge, did you hear Judge Gossett just tell you that the federal district told us that we're probably worth $100 million less this year than we were last year?
Yes, Commissioner, I heard that.
How does that play into your thinking about how we pay our bills?
Well, how does it play into the thinking of spending $400,000 to remodel an area that really didn't need it? How does it play into your thinking to remodel my end that we were getting by? How does it play into your thinking for you to come, for y'all to come and say, well, we need new carpet in here? I don't need new carpet. I need technology. I need a jury room. I send my juries down here to the remodeled part, so they don't have a place to sit that's bigger than a walk-in closet. Commissioner, I'm looking out for my employees.
Sure.
I'm looking out for the position that if case vacates, that I've got to fill with somebody, and a qualified candidate who can get the job done for our taxpayers to come to our courts. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at a $30 million facility outside of town to house our inmates. I'm looking, 70, my bad. I'm looking out for what I've got downstairs. And I think we have to do that to service those taxpayers that come through our courts, not just mine, Judge King's, Judge Brotherton's.
That's why I agreed a while ago that we should really look at the right solution, not just this.
I agree. I think we ought to look at the right solutions.
Yeah.
$400,000 down the hall.
Okay, anyone else? Okay. We do have this afternoon at 1:30, we're going to meet with the JPs and county and district clerks, talk about the collections programs, how they're going, and maybe getting some standardization from the session we had with the Office of Court Administration. Try to do that. And then we will have a meeting Wednesday at 9 a.m. for payroll and for review of jail work orders, and a closed session on that day also. Commissioners, anything for comments?
Foster kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Foster kid picnic Saturday. Well attended, great time.
Yep.
Good cause.
Good blessing too.
Lots of need in the community.
Yep, that was cool.
Harvey?
That was it.
Okay.
The foster kid past Stacy was great. At Lucy Park, the cabin, about 146 kids. Makes you think.
Okay, Commissioner Mahler.
Depending on what happens in the next 48 to 72 hours, we are heading very quickly toward a very dry condition in Wichita County. Just at the same time when we'll begin to open fireworks stands across the county. I would just encourage everyone to be very careful. We are headed toward a tinderbox, folks, and it's our volunteer fire departments and our professional fire departments don't need practice. So be very careful.
Are you all putting up those signs again?
We will be putting up those signs. And, but just something to keep in mind, we're thinking we may get some relief later this week, which would be tremendous for many things, but just keep in your mind, do what you can to be safe, because when the wind blows 20 miles an hour and you get a fire going, it's pretty treacherous this time of year, so be careful out there.
Sheriff, on the 4th of July weekend, can we really keep a close eye on 77 Ranch Road? People are throwing fireworks over into that tank farm, and they're finding bottle rockets on top of the gasoline storage tanks and stuff. I mean, it scares me to death.
We set up the patrols. We put the unit, so most of the time 2 units, just that 79 area, Mason Drive area, to do that, because I know that the landowner will go north side. She used to have problems east of work, where she used to own, but she has that ranch, and it's gotten a whole lot better. But you know, once again, when you're making calls, you know,
I know, it's just
catch them all.
So that's that tank location.
It's real handy. There's no telling what
I'm not going to take my kids out there and pop firecrackers by a 1 million gallon gasoline tank. I mean, that's crazy.
It's the same people's thought process who shoot at the tanks with rifles. They got dings all over from 223s to, you know, other calibers. What goes through people's mind? They don't care. They just set the fire and drive off and leave it. And that's why we've always had the signs that we have to put out. I really think that helped quite a bit. Big push to keep that down. So
it did help.
Is this year is the city doing the fireworks this year?
Yes.
Okay. That I believe is some north part of the county, west side of the county.
Yeah.
But there again, you got people like on 82 who opened up that property, $10 a carload, come shit off with what you want to. It looks like the Vietnam kickoffs was bombing.
Yeah.
It causes
I
problems.
wonder if they fall under that mass gathering ordinance.
I don't know.
That may be,
It's not included in that list.
no,
State.
but sure should be. Okay, Commissioner Watts?
I was, just had something on my mind, yeah. I was thinking fireworks, I guess, throwed me off, but no, Judge, I don't guess there's, we trying to stay up with our road schedule, and the guys are scattered helping, as well as trying to do for themselves as well, so we're making progress, feel like we are anyway. And I was trying to think, there was something, yesterday, it just food for thought, and I didn't want Barry to have to expand on it this morning, but one of his admin people on Sunday I spoke to, on their, we took our savings from health insurance and developed an HRA, which I'm grateful for, and I think that is a good plan for us. What they did was develop HSA funding with their savings by moving that deductible now to $4,500. They have both at their disposal, flexible spending and HSA, and they contribute to that HSA on behalf of that employee, the employer does. And so it had a lot of sensibility about it, and they developed that when they had raised that deductible and made significant changes that brought overall lower premiums to them. So it made me start thinking that we had not really talked about that, and of course what we're doing is a not so committed way on the HRA, but as someone that has now had to deal with it this year, Higginbotham's done a fantastic job reimbursing quickly when the claim's submitted. I would say within 2 or 3 days they have money reimbursed. They've been great and helpful, but I just thought that was a different concept as we talked about some individuals. We looked at a plan where some have applied for that reimbursement, but some have not reapplied or applied for it. I'm assuming they will, but it was a way that Sealed Air took to circumvent some of that and just go ahead and apply it to back to the employee. So I found it interesting, and I'd certainly like to learn more of it. That's all I've got, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Constable Blackerby, we had that discussion, but you're here, and I'm glad you came. You submitted an increase in salary for your position.
That's what I did.
Any particular reasons, justification?
Well,
Would you come forward to the microphone? They're going to get on to me. We're not having to do it. Hey, you're doing a lot better, bud.
Justification was for now, I on some computer work, which said miles for the log. And I noticed the Brokenette and Ledford was an increase last year or the year before. And so I have an increase, and it was a mileage. By doing the mileage when I'm doing it, actually, I'm taking a decrease because I'm doing U.S. mail for a lot of this. Put the courthouse, put the Montgomery's office, then down. I'm mailing that in driving. And so I've noticed my mileage is decreased more than it was with my car allowance. So I was trying to increase to offset the allowance I'm taking for the mileage.
Theoretically, you were being overpaid on your car allowance.
Not really, no, not my truck. I don't do about it.
The federal allowance, which is what we base that on, doesn't really care whether
you're driving a pickup or a Toyota. Or in case of, what was Constable Brewer drive?
A Ludo?
Yeah, so, I don't know, it's a small car,
Yeah.
but,
That was why I did that.
yeah, okay.
I knew the money was tight, and they said the bar won't go through and stuff like that. I had to talk to Jeff about the stipend pay for the master fish officer. They don't do that no more.
We stopped that in 2001, I believe, is what Nancy was at. Do you remember the court orders? You looked it up, but it was.
It's two.
Yeah,
It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And part of that problem was it
Wouldn't be in your case, but what that does, instead of those being paid, those things we had separate, they all then became part of the hourly rate. So then when you got into overtime, you now all of a sudden escalated that rate even more. When it used to be, they were just a good thing and people got paid that and didn't add in that way. But, yeah, that's just thinking, and really we're trying to stick to, it'll be $1,000
for elected officials.
David, do you know your annual amount today?
$25.45. And the fallout was, three of us made it 28.5 or something like that. Off the top of my head.
Yeah, and his was approved by a salary grievance committee. The court didn't approve that. Yeah. Right. So.
That's all I got.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, anything else? Okay, then we will adjourn this session and reconvene at 1:30. No, we're going out, we've got a separate person for this afternoon. Okay. And we're adjourned at 10:54.
Good, like I said, much better than the good. Good,